In a performance or session, each musician gets a unique printout of music that contains only the notes that they need to play. This printout is called a part. For example, an arrangement for trumpet, alto sax, tenor sax, and trombone requires 4 separate parts. However, many instruments are built in different keys. That requires each part's pitches to be adjusted or transposed to match your intended concert pitch. Part transposition is necessary whenever you employ musicians. Though notation software should take care of most of the work for you, improper transposition could result in a disaster during a rehearsal or a reading session. To demonstrate this, I'll ask these musicians to play a melody off the same written part, meaning I want them all to play the same written notes at the same time. First, let's hear what it sounds like at concert pitch. Obviously, musicians were not playing in unison. The rhythm was the same, but the notes were different. The reason that the music we heard was different than the notated music is that some of these instruments are transposing instruments. That means that the notes that we hear from each instrument are different than the notes that the musicians play from their part. Instruments are mainly transposed for 2 reasons. The first is to keep the primary range of an instrument on the staff. The bass's primary range is well below the staff in bass clef. If a bass player were to read the same notes that he played, his music would look like this. To avoid constantly reading excessive ledger lines, the bass is transposed up 1 octave. Transposition also helps wind players easily move from one instrument to another. Many wind instruments use the same fingerings, meaning that the finger patterns used to play the instruments are the same. However, these instruments are different shapes and sizes, so those fingerings will result in higher or lower notes. Say that you're learning how to play a flute. When you see a C major scale, you use certain fingerings. Now you pick up an alto saxophone and want to perform that same C major scale. If you use the same fingerings, you will get a major scale, but it will be a major 6th lower. To allow a player to use the same fingerings, the arranger transposes the music to adjust for the differences in the instruments. So, we'll find the notes that we want to hear and compensate for the transposition by writing a major 6th higher. In other words, if we want to hear this, we need to write this. The most common transposing instruments include the trumpet, clarinets, French horn, the various saxophones, piccolo, guitar, and double bass. For more information on how to transpose music for these instruments, see the tutorial Transposition for Commonly Used Instruments.